Yeah, peace, everybody. I want to keep with the consistency and make a video. Even though I wasn't feeling like making a video, but I have thoughts that I want to get out there, things that I've been thinking about. I can't go along with black people as a whole in America, worldwide. I can't go along with the philosophies of black people, because black people in America, they cool with being second-class citizens. They're cool with they accept their position of servitude. We are not coming together to demand freedom, separation, independence. Blacks are always on TV smiling. Blacks are always being politically correct. You can't express how you really feel. You don't want to be disliked. You don't want to be this. You don't want to be that. So you're always being molded like clay, like Gumby. What type of life is that for a full-grown adult to be manipulated and controlled? You can't be who you are. You can't even use the word black anymore. You got to be a minority. You got to be a people of color. You got to be everything that they tell you. You got to be determined by another group. Now, the mentality that we have as a people is not organic. Our mentality is engineered based on our position in society. And our position in society is a relationship with the dominant society and with all other groups. And that relationship is, how should I say it? You have the dominant and you have the recessive. We are the weaker aspect of the relationship. And we are cool with being the subject, being the weak part, the weakest link. We're really not the weakest link, but in our psychology, we believe we are the weakest link. We're nothing. And we tend to punish other blacks. We ostracize and criticize, and we do negative reinforcement to other black people who don't want to conform to this psychology that I am just an N-word, I am a lower class, I am a middle class, I am a this, and I've been determined, and I've been determined by my class and my race, by the dominant culture. I've been put in a place. I've been put in my place. I've been put in this box. In this box that we've been put in, we have certain rules, regulations that we are not allowed to do, and things that we are allowed to do. And we go outside those boundaries, we get punished. They murder us, kill us, they economically oppress us, and we sometimes protest. Why did you do this? Stop doing this. But it's 2021. This is still going down, The logical solution would be freedom. We want freedom. We want separation. We want battle. We want fight. We want to fight. That's all. That's what it comes to. We want to battle. We want to fight. We got to fight. Because the only way they're going to give you freedom is if you take freedom. They're never going to give you freedom. You got a farm in which you depend on animals for milk, animals for eggs. You need animals for the meat, the fur, the lamb's wool. Whatever the animal does, it's in your best interest to keep them animals in that farm, because this is how you make your living. And this is the black people in America's position. We are cash cows. We bring billions and billions and trillions of dollars to America as their animals, farm animals. But we are not allowed to benefit from the labor and the resources we provide. We are not allowed to build. We are not allowed to express ourselves. We are not allowed to be free. We are not even allowed to reproduce because they put these abortion clinics in our communities. We are not allowed to do certain things, right? If you study programming, C++, C, Python, whatever, you learn about members of a class. You learn about data. And then all the data is seen as a member. And you could put this data in any class, in any group. And you could designate certain rules for each particular class, right? And this functionality, this ability to give different rules to different classes and to different types of data makes a program very efficient. You know, you can put a member over here. You got certain rules, but you got this member over here. You got the local and the global aspects. And you could determine how far this particular class go, what this particular class could do, when it could do it, how it could do it, independently of the whole program. And this is how America is. This particular class, this particular race, this particular demographic has these particular rules. With this particular group, this particular demographic, this particular race has these rules with more access or less access. Now I'm going to talk about this though. There is no such thing as a poor person. There's no such thing as a rich person. You know, this is an adjective attached to the person to what they call to signify, to describe the person. But being poor and being rich is basically your access to money and not having access to money. And that's sometimes, or not in all aspects, your access to money and resources is determined by the government. So the government, you know, classifies you as poor, but you're really a human being. Like nobody, you know, money does not come with you when you come to the earth, and it doesn't leave with you. Money is on the earth. It's made from trees, you know, and the government prints their stamp and their seal to say it has value. This is how it's always been. Even when black people ruled the world, we had coins and money that the government, you know, determined was valuable based on the resources, based on whatever was linked to the money. But you as a human being, you are just flesh. You have ability, you have a mind, you have thoughts, you have desires, dreams, philosophies, but nothing else comes with that. Your access to money and wealth is based on this government and your own efforts. You could go around it. You know, you could hack the system. You could put you could hack the code. Really, it's a code. You just learn how to code in the programming. You know you can hack the code, and when you hack the code, what you do is you go into the different classes of data and you change the rules that was determined by the programmer. The programmer determined that this class has this functionality, that functionality. If you get into the code, you could change the rules for each particular class and change the whole game. Now you could do that as a programmer if you somehow take over the government, or you become politicians and congressmen and senators, president. If you have all of those aspects, you can change the different rules. Or you could just have your own government separate from this, in which you have your own rules. Constitution is rules. You have your own code of conduct, code of behavior, you know, code of how you deal with other nations, how you deal with the friends, enemies, the citizens. But in America, there is no set rule for everybody. The rules are based on your classification, based on your demographic, race, religion. And this is the Nuremberg racist laws that Nazi Germany adapted from America. Jim Crow segregation preceded the Nazi Germany. You know, the extermination of the Native Americans, classifying them as enemy combatants, putting them in concentration camps. This happened in the 1800s. This was before apartheid. This was before the concentration camps that the British put the South Africans in during the Boers Wars, the early 1900s. They all learned this from America because America was very successful at it. Giving each individual class its own functions. And you really want the program to run how you want it to run, meaning that your designated members have the resources, the prosperity, the happiness, and the enemies, or the enemies of your group of people that you utilize and exploit, they have less access. This is programmed into this government, and this is how you program into everything that you do in the computer. You program everything. Every piece of data is a member. And it has to be a member of something. It has to be put into a group, a class. You can't just have random data just floating around, Even though we're part of the same program, we have different classes, different functionalities, different rules, different abilities, different functions, different purposes, And our purpose is determined by another group. It's not really self-determination. And this is the biggest problem. This is the reason I can't really, I can't go along with the black philosophy, because they don't really see a problem with this. Like LeBron James, he don't see a problem with him not being a owner, not having his own league. All of the owners of the NBA are Caucasians, except so-called Michael Jordan and Bob Johnson and so-called Jay-Z. But he don't see a problem with the dominant society always being a white male. Joe Biden, he told us to vote for Joe Biden. What's the difference between Joe Biden and Donald Trump? They both are Caucasian males. Hillary Clinton, a white woman. Like, you telling us to follow their particular plan for us, which wasn't a plan. You just didn't, because of your dislike for one white man, you telling us to vote for another white man. But why are you even participating in their system anyway? If it wasn't for their system, Joe Biden, crime bills and poverty, you get 50 years in Congress and the Senate, you wouldn't have been a single, grew up with a single mother in poverty in Akron, Ohio. You was directly responsible for your life as a senator for 50 years. He did nothing to help you. If it wasn't for your own ability and luck, wouldn't nobody know who knew LeBron James? Well, it has nothing to do with no Joe Biden, Bill Clinton. None of them did anything to benefit you. It was your own abilities, your own gifts, not the white politicians. If it was up to Joe Biden, you would be in a penitentiary right now. You would have been so poor and so broke. You would have been, they call it funneling. You would have been more likely, the chances of you going to rob a person will excel is exponentially high if you don't have access to alternative means to getting money. And if money is not just given to you, like it's just given to the Caucasians and the so-called Native Americans, they get a monthly stipend, so they ain't got to go out there and struggle like us. The little crumbs that get to your mama for welfare and the Section 8 is not enough. You're not getting the thousands that the so-called Native Americans get and the Caucasians get, the $5 Indians get. That's giving them free land, like the Homestead Act, giving them bailouts. See what I'm saying? Like, there's different rules. It's like this stimulus package. It's different rules, but for different types of people. So the average person has access to $600, but the businesses can get up to $2 million. Now you tell me that's not crazy. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But yeah, I think we can't just accept this oppression. We can't accept this oppression. I'm gonna keep repeating every video. I'm not gonna say every video, but I'm gonna keep reiterating the idea that we need freedom and separation. We have a right to autonomy. We have a right to be independent. Just like the Caucasians wanted independence from Britain and the European monarchies, we need independence from them. We need independence from the Caucasian dominant society. And we got to stop acting like this is not oppression. This is wickedness.